Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new here. My name is Christina, and yes, I am a bookworm. So today's video is going to be a video that I've done in the past but was not really successful at them, and now that I've recently seen these booktubers do them differently, it has motivated me to try and attempt these type of videos again. So this is kind of like the trial and error of it. So yes, today's video is going to be the start of a 24-hour readathon that I haven't done since we were told to stay inside and not go anywhere. So basically I'm going to be reading for 24 hours, which means like I'm still going to sleep when I need to sleep, but anytime that I am actually physically sitting down reading or whatever I'm doing and I'm actually reading, whether it's listening to my audio or sitting here physically reading, like I'm going to make sure I have a timer going, and by the end of the day before I call it a night, I will share with you guys like my reading progress and how much I've read in the day. So that's what this video is going to be about. Fingers crossed that I can successfully do this, because it seems and sounds very manageable and more easier than having to stay up for the 24 hours. So I'm gonna stop talking and I'm gonna show you guys the books that I want to read. Not saying that I'll read them all, but these are just the options that I have from the library that I picked up. I picked up a few books from the library last week, so I want to try and get to as many as I possibly can before I have to return them. So I'm gonna grab them really quick. All right, so here is my stack. So this one is Charlotte Ills, I think is what it's saying. It's not a detective. So I have this one that I picked up from the library, and then I have Tessa Bailey, Unfortunately Yours, which is the second book in the, I forgot what this little duology is called, but yeah, it's the second book. I read the first one, I loved it, so I want to try and pick this one up if possible, just to try and finish off the little series. The next one is by Ellen Hilderbrand, What Happens in Paradise, and this is what this one looks like. I read the first book, I loved it, it was so good, so I'm ready to jump into this is the second book in that, and I think it's a trilogy. So I'm ready to see what happens next for the main character and her family, and yeah, I'm excited. And this is very like summery vibes, and I'm all for it. It was an amazing book. I didn't expect to like it as much as I did, and I can't wait to read this one. And this will probably be maybe the next one that I pick up after I finish His and Hers. I don't know, we'll see. Maybe we need to flip a coin, I don't know. I guess we'll figure out where I'm feeling when I'm done with the thriller. The other one is by Jennifer Weiner. This is Big Summer. Again, this is another author that I read last year. Enjoyed that book. I think it was That Summer, something like that, and it was really good. Family drama, perfect. It was really good. That's all I can say. And I'm excited to try and get to this one as well. Another one I recently picked up is Wooing Katie McCaffrey. This is by Bethany Turner. Never read anything by this author. I really picked this book up because of the cover. The cover was super cute. And the last book that was in my little stack here was Joanne Fluke, Coconut Layer Cake Murder. If you've been here for a while, you know I am a huge fan of Miss Joanne Fluke. I don't know what it is about this author, and whenever I read, like when I physically read her books, it gives me very like country, southern, small town vibes, but in reality it's not like that. Whenever you listen to the audio, they're from Minnesota. It's a small town in Minnesota, and that's basically where most of the stories take place in, and I love the little cozy murder mysteries. And this one was giving me very like summery vibes. Attempt to be read for this little readathon. I'm gonna go ahead and hop off. I do have a few things that I have to do before I can actually start this readathon. My daughter has a dentist appointment this morning and I have to take her, and then as soon as we get home and comfortable, I will start the timer and we will hop on here and read for as much as we can until I have to get up and do other things around the house. So yeah, hopefully you guys will enjoy this video, and we shall see how much I read by the end of the video. I think what I'm gonna do though is start with this one, because I actually do have the audio for this one. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just start with this one, and then after I read this, I will probably be ready for something a little bit more like relatable in the like from these. I wanted to hop on real quick and kind of give you guys a little insight of what my thoughts are, even though I'm not far into it yet. But I feel like there's just something interesting that just when it started, and then now I'm just now putting two and two together. So basically we're following Natalie Voss, who just recently went back home because she was dumped by her fiance and she lost her job, and now that she's ready to pick herself back up and go back out into the world, she decides to ask her mom for her trust fund. But her mother ends up telling her that because your dad was super old school, in order for you to get your trust fund, you would have to marry. That is the only way that you can inherit your money. I have a feeling, and I think this is where it's going to go, that it's gonna give very much The Proposal with Sandra Bullock and what's his name? He's super cute. Blake Lively's husband, Ryan Reynolds, where they fake marry. And I think this is what's gonna happen in this book, that Natalie Voss is gonna convince or propose and marry somebody that's probably equally having trouble with I'm thinking either financially or is having trouble like some way or shape or form. So I feel like it's going to benefit and help each other out, but I think it's going to be a fake marriage situation in this book. And honestly, I'm here for it because basically it's like fake dating that's going to lead into like a real romance, and I'm here for it. So if that's the case, I am pretty excited to find out how this love interest is going to fall in love. Right, everybody, the lighting is going to be trash because it's nighttime. It's literally 12 midnight, so I look a hot mess. I don't know, I look like a potato right now. And I am not gonna apologize for it because I have been relaxing for the most part. Today's been like a little busy, like as soon as my husband, well, first of all, I went with my friend to go get her, or I went with her because she had a consultation for a tattoo that she's going to be getting. I went with her, and then I hung out, took a nap, and then my husband got home from work, and then we went to go eat some wings, and then I got home, and I've been reading since then. So now that I finally finished the book that I started for this readathon, we are clocking in at 5 hours for the night. Like, it's the end for me for tonight as far as like reading. So I finished Unfortunately Yours by Tessa Bailey. I'm thinking that I'm going to give this book a 4-star. I enjoyed it. I thought it was really fun. I love the banter, which I actually really enjoy Tessa Bailey's books in general. The banter is always like very like giving, I don't know, but I always enjoy it. So I have no issues with that. I love the love story, like their growth, which I always do when reading Tessa Bailey books. And then I was really spot on with the whole fake marriage. One thing I would say is that I felt really bad for both of the characters. Natalie, because she's like the character that's underrated, or like with, at least with her family, they really don't give her the credit that she deserves because of her past. Well, in particular, it's her mom. Like, because of the past mistakes that she made, she still holds it over her as an adult, so never really gives her the recognition or the chance to prove to her mom that she's not the same person that she was as a teenager. So that's one thing that made me sad. about Natalie. Now August, the male love interest in the story, also makes me sad because he is a ex-SEAL, Navy SEAL, and he stopped touring with his team because his best friend was killed during one of their like missions. So that's the whole reason why he's with the winery vineyard, I think that's what it's really called, in Napa, because it was his friend's dream and he's trying to live out that dream for his friend. And it's hard for him to want to let others help him because he feels like it was his fault that his friend was killed. So he just feels like it's his responsibility to do this whole process of the vineyard on his own. So I like that Natalie and August are learning things about each other, and that's one of the main reasons why they grow to really love each other. Like, it was just cute and I enjoyed it so much. The only thing I will say is that it was heavily saturated with them constantly talking about his genitals. That's basically it. With like the main issue that I had with the story is how heavily like saturated it was with him constantly like referring anything that he was feeling to his junk area. So it was just really over the top, over saturated, and that's pretty much all I'm gonna say about that. But yeah, book number 1 done. I'm not gonna start another book tonight, but I'll probably just pick one out. I was kind of leaning towards a fantasy, but I think I just want to stick to what I have right here on my desk from what I checked out at the library. And the one that I'm like leaning towards is the Ellen Hilderbrand book, this one right here. So I think this is the one that I'm gonna start. I do feel like this is going to be another family drama driven book, which I'm not mad at. So if I end up, so like I'll read about 50%, not 50, I'll read about 50 pages of it, and if it's still like interesting to me to keep going, like I will keep going. But if I feel like I'm jumping too much into another family drama from this one, then I will probably pick up a fantasy, and you guys will obviously see which fantasy I decide to go with. But this is the second book that I'll be reading, so yeah, I'm gonna start it though tomorrow probably. That is the first book down. Moving on to the next. I will keep you guys updated on the time so you can keep up with me as well. So that's it for this little update, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Okay, good morning everybody. Sorry if I'm casting shadow. I have the back door open right now because I wanted to tell you guys that I started the What Happens in Paradise by Ellen Hilderbrand. I just started it this morning, and I'm about, let's check the time, 6 hours 29 minutes and 36 seconds into the 24-hour readathon. I've been enjoying it. So you guys know that I finished this one yesterday, so this is the book that I will be reading today. I don't know, hopefully I can actually finish this today. So let's see, we have roughly like 18 hours, about 18 hours left in the readathon to finish what we can. So yes, I'm listening to the audio as well with this one. So I'm already 58 pages in, and basically we're kind of following after what happened in book 1. So Irene, who is the main character in this book, finds out that her husband had like this secret life. She knew like he was like some form of like businessman and was making all this money with his new job. What she didn't know was that he had this like second life, until like she finds out that he's dead. Then she realizes that he had this other lover and also another child, and like had no idea that he had like this double life. And a lot of his secrets are starting to unfold in this one. And everybody on the plane died, But now in this story, we're kind of finding out that that's probably not what really happened. That it's looking like, because investigators have like actually went out to the site and saw like the helicopter and all that, and it's not really adding up to like it could have been a lightning strike. It's looking more like sabotage, like somebody put a bomb on board, and it's looking like foul play pretty much. So that's the big bomb drop in the book for this one so far. So yeah, right now they're kind of like figuring out why or who would have wanted to harm Irene's husband, and it's looking like his woman that he was having an affair with was kind of like there at the wrong time, wrong place, wrong time situation. So or like I think they're thinking it was like collateral damage situation as well. But yeah, that's where we're at right now. I feel like I was talking really slow and I'm sorry. So, you know what this means if I'm back here with another update. That means I finished What Happens in Paradise by Elin Hilderbrand. The way this ended, as soon as I take these books back to the library, I will be picking up the third one in this trilogy. All that discovery, all that drama, all that hurt from infidelity and death, book one. This one, however, follows after the aftermath of everything coming out, and then like they're trying to get their lives essentially in a normal state of healing for Irene and her two boys. Her boys are grown, they're men and all that, but they also have fallen in love with the island that their dad was visiting very often, but there are a lot of other like secrets unfolding as to like what her husband was really doing, how he was financially able to like have all this money, and a lot of it is like she doesn't believe that it could be something that her husband would do, but then again she's like, he cheated on me, like he's had an affair, had a whole kid, had a whole nother life. So it's kind of like she doesn't believe it, but then she doesn't know what to believe in the situation. And then also the lady that he was having an affair with was writing down these journals that her friend had found. She didn't tell anybody that she found these journals, but I feel like a lot of these journals have a lot of hidden secrets because her friend was writing down every single thing from the moment she met him, pregnancy, every time she would visit him, till learning what he was actually doing for a living, and then the troubles that she was facing when she was trying to convince him to stop doing the things that he was doing. That is that for this one. I feel like I've been talking very slowly, but I just want to make sure I get out what I need to get out when it comes to these books that I've been reading, just so that way you can kind of get a full insight of what I've been reading, in case you decide to pick these books up. But it is 6:42 and we are at 10 hours 31 minutes and 11 seconds into the readathon, so I still have quite a bit of time to read something. I was thinking, rather than picking up another like novel, like another big book, maybe I want to jump into like a graphic novel. And the one that I picked out, I don't know if I'm going to read it, but I've been having this one on my shelf for a very long time. This is actually a manga. This is I Want to Eat Your Pancreas by Yaru Sumino, and the art style is Adumi Kirihara. Yeah, I'm butchering that. But this is what I might end up picking up. I'm not too sure, just to kind of give myself like a moment before I dive into something else. But if I don't pick this one up, or even if I do pick it up and then I end up wanting to read, if I still have time, I'm gonna pick up Joanne Fluke, Coconut Layer Cake Murder. So these are the next ones. I'm gonna try and get through this one and then pick this one up. So that's the plan. All right, so I'm back to let you guys know that I finished another book, and this is the one that I finished, and we're clocking in at 13 hours 16 minutes and 10 seconds, which means I have a roughly, it's saying I have 10 hours and 44 minutes of this readathon, so I'm doing pretty good. This means this is the third book that I finished so far. This is a cute little manga that I've had on my shelf for a while, and it's basically about this young girl who is sick with pancreas disease, and she befriends this introverted classmate to try and help him get out of his comfort zone a little bit and to make friends, because she's noticed that he doesn't have any friends. But then she wants to get close to him to really get to know him, because she also wants to be someone like him, where she doesn't have high expectations of herself, while also helping him like get out of his little shell. I thought it was a cute little read. It was really quick, honestly. I gave it a 4-star. I really enjoyed it. I didn't expect to finish it as quickly as I did, considering how thick this manga is, but I finished it and I really enjoyed it. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move on to the next one, which is probably gonna be the last book for this readathon, and that is the Joanne Fluke Coconut Layer Cake Murder. I'm gonna start this. I doubt I'll finish it, but I'll finish it tomorrow, and that will be the end, pretty sure, of the reading vlog, the 24-hour vlog of me reading for 24 hours, since I'm pretty sure I'm gonna try and read maybe about like for 2 more hours and then call it a night. Maybe it just depends on how much I'm enjoying the book. And then tomorrow, like I said, obviously I'll finish it off and then give you guys my thoughts whenever I finish this one. But I'm starting it right now after this update. I'll start the clock, and then this will be the last book, I feel, for the readathon. Wanted to hop on and let you guys know I finished Joanne Fluke. This one was a lot of fun. We follow a murder. Me trying to sum this book up for you, basically. So we have a baker by the name of Hannah Swanson. She's this baker who owns a cute little bakery called Cookie Jar, who finds herself being a part-time detective unintentionally, basically. She gets involved whenever there's murders that happen in their small little town in Minnesota. She's not a trained detective at all whatsoever, and if anything, the detectives try and push her away from not getting involved, but somehow she finds herself involved in every murder case that happens in her little town. And then this time around that there was this murder, it happened to be when she was out of town, and they called her to come back into town because the detective that was found at the scene of the murder has been one of the main suspects, and because of that he can't investigate, right along with other people that are related to him cannot investigate. And so that leaves 2 detectives on the force. So they call her in, and they're asking her this time because all the other detectives have to sit out due to fear of tampering with evidence. So yeah, this is her one shot, her only chance where the detectives are actually wanting her help. It was a cute little moment, a cute little mystery. I was definitely like, I had my suspicions on who it could have been. I don't think I was correct, honestly, but I love also that it comes with like real life recipes, and each recipe, like, not only does it show the ingredients, it shows like how to prepare it, like how do you put the ingredients together, how you set your oven, mixing, all that good stuff. Like, it does step-by-step recipes, which I feel are super unique. I definitely am going to write some down so that way I can make at least one of these recipes, especially one of the dessert recipes. Every chapter just about has a recipe because they talk about a certain dessert that they're tasting in that chapter, and they all, after every chapter, they always put the recipe for whatever dessert that they are eating in said chapter. Hey everybody, I'm back. I don't ever know how to like hop back on the camera and like let you guys know that I'm like back, other than just be like, hey everybody, I'm back. But yes, I'm here. I haven't done any reading. I still have about 5 hours left in this little readathon. It's 5:54, 5 hours and 54 minutes. You can see right there. I think the last time I updated you guys, I think I still had like 6 hours left, and I did pick up Miss Magnolia Parks last night, and I read for a little bit, not too long. I don't know. Okay, I am starting to get so annoyed with this book to where I just don't want to read it anymore. Basically, we're following Magnolia and Beej, or BJ. They're the love interest in the story. Magnolia and BJ, or Beej, I think it's BJ. They grew up together. They've known each other for a very long time, since they were little, and upon growing up to each other, like growing with each other, they formed a friendship, from friendship to romance. But then something happened between them, and Beej did something that was super unforgivable to Magnolia while they were together in their relationship, and this has caused a big shift in their relationship to where she can't trust him anymore, and it's very toxic. It's very back and forth. It's like, now that they're older, at least I think that's what it's supposed to, I think they're adults, but they act like 15-16-year-olds. Yeah, it's frustrating to say the least, because it's like, for example, they're still very much friends, and they want to be more than friends again, but Magnolia can't get past the whole situation of what Beej did to her, and Beej can't find it in his like heart and in his soul and his conscience to actually like apologize for doing what he did to her. So they kind of like act like nothing happened, but like they stay friends, but they go, like, you get a lot of like their inner monologue about like, oh, I want to do this, but I know it's not right. I mean, it's really frustrating. And then they're always doing things to hurt one another. I don't want to say unintentionally, but it's like Beej knows that if Magnolia sees him flirting or finds out that he slept with these girls, even though she knows that he's sleeping around, that it wouldn't hurt her because she doesn't act like it doesn't hurt her, but in reality he like deep down knows that it still hurts her very much, but he still does it. And Magnolia does like this thing where she acts like she doesn't care to him, and like is trying to also show him that she can move on just as much as he can, but doesn't really move on. So like it's very much back and forth where they're always constantly hurting each other, more so Beach hurting her, in the sense of just always like sleeping around and flirting with other girls, knowing that he knows how deep in love she very much is with him, and he says that he's very much deep in love with her and that she's it for him, but it's nothing like that, and it's a bunch of back and forth. I feel like at this point I should have already enjoyed it if I'm this far into it, and I'm not into it, so I'm DNFing it. I'm gonna pick up something else. So I'm gonna probably pick up Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins to read. That's it for this update. I'll just see you guys whenever I start this one. Hey guys, so I'm here to let you know that we officially stopped the 24-hour readathon. We hit 24 hours and 28 milliseconds. I couldn't stop it right at 24. Them little minutes be going pretty, not minutes, seconds be going pretty quickly, but I did finish Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid right on time. I'm pretty surprised that I actually finished this book, considering the fact I did get pretty far yesterday in it. I was listening to the audio yesterday night, and then today following along everything, all that good stuff. And let me just tell you guys, I am pretty impressed with myself for finishing Malibu Rising, considering, like I said, I started it yesterday. I'm sorry if you can hear the blow dryer going off right now. My daughter's blow drying her hair. But yes, I can't believe I officially read for 24 hours. Not consistently reading, but I will say, being a mom, it's not always easy to just sit back and read for long periods of time. I feel like if I wasn't a mom, I probably could read from the moment that I wake up all the way to the moment that I go to bed, but that's really not the case for me. So I really like the idea of doing this where I timed myself every time I read, and it accumulated up to 24 hours. So I love that, and I felt like it also motivated me to read more. I didn't feel overwhelmed. I just didn't feel the timer, as to like if I were to actually set an actual 24-hour alarm and try and read as much as I possibly could in an actual 24-hour span. I think, like I said, I would have put myself in a pretty bad reading slump. I probably would have only finished one book, if that. Not to say that that's a bad thing, but I feel like doing this where I read, or I timed myself every time I sat down and read, and gave myself like where I would read for an hour right here, read for an hour right there, and I just really gave myself the time to actually sit down and read and time myself every time I did so. I felt like it was just more easier, more manageable, and also like more fun doing it that way. So I feel like if you want to read for 24 hours the way I did it, because you don't really have a lot of time on your hands, I say try it out. I actually really enjoyed it. I ended up finishing 5 books in amount of 24 hours. So these are all the books that I completed for this readathon. But like I said, the challenge was to read for 24 hours, and that's exactly what I did. See it the way you want to see it, but nonetheless, like, this is the most I've read in a couple days than I have in a very long time, and I've had such a good time with it. And you guys know that I did DNF Magnolia Parks. However, I will talk about Malibu Rising right quick, because I feel like this should have been what this was giving, considering like all the drama, family drama, and all like the boy problems that Magnolia Parks gives. Malibu Rising did it better for me, and I feel like this one was also like super relatable, and I really enjoyed it. I felt sad, I felt like upset reading this book as well, like angry in a sense because of like all the family drama. Now let me tell you, this book is heavily with the family drama, secrets, and infidelity, and it does deal with grief and all that. So I mean, also like these characters are like famous as well, and they've like had somewhat like a famous parent, so it was just nice to feel very relatable to them, and I enjoyed it. I really did. And that's pretty much all I can say, or I want to say, about this book. It was really good. Pretty much what it was throughout the whole entire story, from like Nina experiencing getting left by her husband for another woman. She also saw her mom go through the same situation, and then also having a single parent with a dad that came in and out of their lives when he wanted to, and it got to the point where now that they're adults, their dad wants to re-enter their life when he has no parenting expectations anymore. Like, the kids really don't need anything from him, and yet he feels like he wants to be a part of their life now, because now he wants to be a dad now that his kids are like old enough to take care of themselves. They have their own careers going for them. Even the youngest sister, the youngest sibling, is like doing stuff for herself and doesn't need a parent. But yes, that is the only like thing that was like that happened towards the end, is like the father wanting to come back into their life after everything that they've gone through, after everything that Nina gone through as an older sibling, like having to watch her mom self-sabotage with alcohol and end up losing her life to it because of all the hurt and pain that she felt with her husband like leaving her, and then having to step in and be the parent so that way her and her siblings don't get separated or be in a situation where basically like being separated from each other. So she decided to take on that role as being like the primary care and financial provider, and I feel like I could totally relate to that as well. But nonetheless, I finished it. I am done reading for 24 hours. That's all I have to say. I'm excited. I'm pretty proud of myself. I really am, and I cannot wait to do this again. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm gonna go ahead and hop off because I have nothing more else to say other than like I'm pretty proud of myself for finishing the books that I did finish. Like, this is amazing to me. Amazing. Thank you guys again so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed, and I shall see you guys on the next one. Bye.